Hi everyone, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. For today's video, I wanted to talk about some books about decluttering. And I have been on this mission, it feels like forever. I feel like I was in this constant state of like wanting my home to be different than it is. And I am a clutter bug. I am sentimental to the nth degree. I am a pack rat. I love having physical things, either that are like mementos of things or memories of things. I tend to knee-jerk response to any kind of a situation, whether it's stress or celebration or what have you, by buying something. I definitely have some bad habits that have resulted in a way too filled house. So I made like a strong commitment back in September that I was going to give it a year. And I don't, it's sort of like, because I feel like everyone says like it takes like a good year to do all this kind of stuff, but I was going to open every drawer, touch every piece of paper, touch every physical thing in my house, from like a fork to my snow boots. And I was going to clean and organize and declutter and get rid of stuff. And like this is my year. This year is going to be different. I've read 3 different books, and what I love about them is they all have a different approach. They're all kind of targeted different, because I feel like, there is not one straight down or straight up approach to decluttering. I was kind of looking for the silver bullet, and what I figured out is that, or the magic bullet. Silver bullet I think is like what you kill werewolves with. But anyway, the magic bullet, and there is no one magic bullet. So what I've done is I've sort of glommed different things from the different books that speak to me and that have helped me push forward. So I am 5 months into the process, I would say. And I mean, like, some months are better than others. But I'm making progress. I'm feeling good about it. And I have to believe that there's some other folks out there who are also trying to declutter, whether it's just your closet or it's your whole home. So why not talk about what I'm reading about and what I've learned, and just by no means am I even in the ballpark of being an expert on things, but I've read a few books and I'm excited about the progress I'm making, and I wanted to talk about it. So here we are, let's talk about cleaning house. Okay, so let's start kind of where I feel like all the madness began, and that's Marie Kondo's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And I read this book a few years ago when it came out, and I got the ebook version of it in my lame attempt to not bring more books into my house. I was like, oh, I'll get the ebook. I mean, that lasted like as long as this book did. I basically got this book on ebook and went right back to buying real books. But anyway, this book, I feel like, really kind of revolutionized the entire decluttering world and put it on the map, and people kind of became obsessed. And there'd sort of been little books along the way and little chat along the way, but this was like the game changer across the board and across the world. So if you don't know who Marie Kondo is, she's a Japanese organizer, and I sense that she has been pretty famous in Japan for a while before this book sort of hit gold. And there were a lot of things about this book that I liked, but there were things that I couldn't connect with. And sort of the all-in kind of overarching feeling of this book is that you should only have things in your home that spark joy. And that's her big thing. It's all about sparking joy. And a lot of the good takeaways are kind of like, if you're gonna clean whatever it is, your closet, all your paperwork, your kitchen, whatever it is, you have to take everything out and you have to physically touch every single thing. And if that item, whether it's, a sweater or the fork or a photo of your parents or, the deed to your house, whatever it is, if it doesn't spark joy, and I mean, the deed to the house is tricky because obviously you need paperwork, but let's say it's a birthday card from your grandma. If that item doesn't spark joy, you need to get rid of it. And it can take you a while to hone what that feeling is, But it's one of those things, like, to quote Winona Ryder in Reality Bites, like, I can't define irony, but I know it when I see it. So like, you will know joy when it is sparked in you. And it's kind of like, if there's any hesitation, it probably belongs in like the giveaway, discard, whatever pile. So I like the concept of it. It's a little too like woo-woo for me. I definitely think there's value to like knowing things that make you happy, but I also, like, I was trying to do this. I legit like tried to do this, but then I kind of felt like everything was making me happy because I was tying it to a memory that made me happy, and it wasn't really, maybe I wasn't doing it right, but it wasn't working for me. And again, conceptually I like it. The physical act of it, I was not totally down with, but I was watching the Netflix show. So she has, I think it's like an 8 or 10 part, and each part she kind of goes to a different family or a different person. She helps them kind of revolutionize their lives by cleaning out their homes. And originally I was like, well, I'm not in like any of these exact circumstances, so this isn't going to apply for me. But I will be honest, I wound up watching the entire thing, and I took something away from each one of the videos. So if you're not down for reading the book, or you've read it but maybe you want more, definitely check out the next Netflix series. And I will say some of the great takeaways in this is, you know, that concept again, you've got to take everything out. So when you're dealing with pictures and those kind of mementos, you bring them all together to one place and go through them all at the same time. You take everything out of your closet and you put it in a huge pile and you go through it. It's not about standing in your closet and saying like, yes, yes, no, no type of a thing. And the concept is that it's not about what you want to throw away, but it's what you want to keep. And what I love about Marie Kondo and the other two people I'm going to talk about is no one has these like hard and fast rules that you need 5 pairs of jeans and 2 pairs of black pants and 3 pairs of sneakers. There's none of that kind of stuff. And it's not judgmental, and it's like your stuff is your stuff and you've kept it for whatever reason you've kept it. And we're not here to sort of dig into that, but it is about what you want to keep and what is important to you to continue to have in your life that you want to bring into your future with you. So if you're holding on to 50 cards from grandma, do you need all 50 of them to bring into the future to be reminded of her? Or do you just need 1 or 2 that are sentimental to you? And if you need all 50, then you can keep all 50, but you need to find a place for them. And again, there's no hard and fast rules about how much stuff you can keep, but it's about really looking at what you have and what it brings to you. So there's kind of your spark joy thing again. So whether you have the visceral like aha moment, or it's just something where it's like, every time I look at this, this makes me happy and I want to continue to have this in my life because it will continue to make me happy, then that's okay. And you know what all of these, kind of all 3 of these scenarios go through also is like, they try and like start you out with the easy peasy stuff and then work you into the emotional, sentimental pieces. And I feel like with Marie Kondo, like first it starts with like your clothes, which I love fashion, I love shopping, I love clothes, I always have. So like that's kind of emotional for me. I definitely tie like outfits to events or things that have happened. And then like the second thing is books, which is like, hello, also emotional. I have a hard time on hauling things, even if I haven't read it yet, or didn't like it, but it was part of a collection. You know, I had every other book by that author, even though I didn't like that one. So that's all with a grain of salt, what's sentimental and what isn't. But all in, she's a really good approach to things. And I do believe like it becomes addictive and you have to commit to doing it. And you've got to do it. And I think when you really start to look at things, and kind of the more I did it, the more I was going through things, maybe something that like made it through round 1 didn't make it through round 2. And I just keep hinging on like that, do you want to bring this into the future with you? And that to me is what resonates kind of all in for Marie Kondo. The second book that I read is Decluttering at the Speed of Life by Dana K. White. And this book I picked up in the fall with my kind of mindset that I was gonna like do the big purge. And what I loved about this book is she's so funny and she's so down to earth. And again, there's none of this like this is how many of this you need to have. You need to have this process. It's not like this regimented system. She's very kind of like no nonsense about it. And it's like, I've been there. I've been in the middle of my clutter, crying my eyes out because I've got way too much shit. And this is how you get to the other side of it. And let me make this easy for you. And that's what I need. I need me some like humorous, tough love, telling it like it is, been there, done that kind of a person. And she is exactly that. And her mission is all about having a sense of accomplishment, because that will keep you going. Because if you try and declutter and feel so buried in it, you're gonna throw in the towel and give up and be like, screw it, this is way too hard, I'm not doing this. I can live with the clutter around me, not that big of a deal. And I loved the idea of having meaningful progress that you could see. I am one of those people who, I love results. I am a very results-driven person, and I am someone who, like, I don't like to declutter necessarily because it's something that's hard to do, but I love to clean. And it's, for me, I can see the end result of cleaning. I can start the project, do the work, and when I'm done, I can see the physical result of it. So she goes through kind of room by room, but she has these steps to things, and she has you like start out easy. So whatever it is, you know, say it's like your living room. She has you go through what she calls trash, what she calls trash. So literally you go through, and anything that's garbage, you literally throw it away. So whether it's, you know, like the newspaper from a week ago, or there's crumpled up pieces of paper, or there's like gum wrappers, or I mean, I don't know what your living room looks like. I'm making it sound like mine looks like a dump. These are not things. I'm just trying to think of trash. Tissues, whatever. Anything that's legit trash, throw it away immediately. And then she has you go through like the easy stuff. So you kind of look around again, and you take things that don't belong there. So let's say again, you're in your living room, and there's you know, a coffee cup, and maybe your watch and your rings that you took off while you were watching TV, and a couple bottles of nail polish because you were doing your nails while you were watching TV last night. So it's like, coffee cup goes into the kitchen, walk away. Rings go in your jewelry box, walk away. Nail polish goes wherever your beauty stuff is, walk away. And the hitch is like to not get caught up. So don't bring the coffee cup into the kitchen and then start tidying the kitchen. You've got to like drop it and run. But get that crap out of there, put it where it's supposed to be, put it in the room it really belongs to, and you will deal with that when you get to that room. And then she has you go through what she calls the declutter. And it's, you know, to take the look around stuff that's easy to either donate if it's donatable, or trash should have gone with trash, but let's say you missed something. But if you've got stuff, you know, let's put yourself in the kitchen, and let's say you've got, you know, 2 blenders, and one is like your good blender that you use for like big things, and then you've got this other blender that you're sort of saving in case the good new one craps out. I may have done that at one point. Get rid of the second blender, like get rid of it. Do you have 2 teapots in case the first one rusts or doesn't work anymore? I don't know, does the teapot stop working? Like, get rid of it. If you've got like 9 spatulas, do you need 9 spatulas? Like, who are you, crazy spatula lady? Like, donate, get rid of this stuff. So it's to really assess things, or if it's things that like, you know, I bought the NutriBullet, but I've never used it, and I'm never gonna be a shake person, I'm never gonna be a NutriBullet person, then donate it, give it to someone who's gonna use it. And, you know, having things that are like your fantasy self, like I will be the person who NutriBullets and does shakes and lives this healthy, ground up vegetable kind of a life. If you're not that person, if you bought it, you know, 6 weeks or 6 months ago and you haven't become that person, like get rid of it. Yes, you spent money on it. Yes, it's painful. And I think that's sort of like with all of this decluttering, the most painful thing for me is like to look at how much money I have spent on things and to just sort of kiss it farewell, whether you are donating it or selling it or trashing it, if it's in crap condition or freaking broken. Like if you have stuff that's broken, get rid of it. So it's hard to do, but it's important to do that assessment and to really look at things with clear eyes. Like, how many fry pans do you need? She's not saying you can only have 3, but if you've got 9, do you need 9 fry pans? So it's really looking at it objectively and being honest with yourself about what you've got and what you really need. So I love this approach. I love, you know, and then you do a room and it's done, and then you're on to the next. But you can look at that living room, you can look at that kitchen, whatever room it is that you had started in. You can see that you've accomplished something, you can see what you've done, and that feeling will sort of keep pushing you forward and will motivate you to do the next thing. And none of these people give you kind of a hard and fast rule about how much stuff you can have, but she talks about how your home is a container and everything within it is a container. So like your bookshelf is a container. Obviously, I haven't tackled this one yet. And you can keep whatever you want so long as it fits in the space you have. And it's not about like, oh, I'll just buy another bookshelf and then I can put more books on it. It's not about, you know, I'm gonna get a storage space, or I'm gonna start putting my clothes in, you know, my husband's, spouse's, partner's, whoever's closet, because theirs isn't full, so there's more space for me to put my stuff in. It's viewing everything as a container, your kitchen cabinets, your file cabinets, whatever it is, your bathroom cabinets, and you can fit stuff in there. And it doesn't mean you should pack it to the gills, but you should not be going out and buying new accessories, new storage things so that you can store more of your crap. You need to put your stuff in the space that you have. And that concept, again, not revolutionary, but like the bell went off in my head about it. And it's, you know, you can keep whatever you want as long as it fits in the space that you've got. I haven't done this yet. The other thing I love about this book is she gets into trying to sell things. And I am so guilty of this. And I mean, talk about like a part of a book that like screamed out my name. The problem is when I decide that like I can like be a tradesy person and a Poshmark person, and I literally still, and like this is something I need to deal with, I have like 2 totes and probably 4 boxes under my bed right now that are filled with like clothes and shoes and accessories and stuff that I'm trying to sell online. And I will admit, I sold a bunch of stuff. So this is like where I'm like, hey, I can do this. I can make some money at this. People want to buy things. I've hit a bit of a lull, feeling a little bit discouraged, but I'm also not giving up hope. But I think I need to let some of this crap go. So you need to give yourself a fixed timeline, whether it's, you know, a season, or, you know, you say a certain amount of months or whatever it is. And if your shit doesn't sell, you got to get rid of it. You got to move it out of your house. You have to accept it. You have to say goodbye to the money. You have to say goodbye to the things and realize that it's okay. And hopefully the takeaway is that the next time you go to buy something, you're looking at it differently and you're thinking about it. And again, one of the most jarring things is just looking at things and realizing how much money you spent on things that are going. But it's okay, because you're learning from this, you're getting things out of your house, and you are making the progress you need to make, and you need to do it. So filling your garage, filling whatever with stuff that you're gonna sell someday, it's okay to give it a shot, but you also need to know when to throw that towel in and give that stuff to, you know, Big Brother, veterans, or whatever your local organization is, and give it to someone who's going to use it and appreciate it. And so what if you didn't make $7 off that sweater? That's okay. Do the good deed, get it out of your house, and give it to someone who will appreciate it. So the next book I read, and I will be honest, I was a little embarrassed about this one, but we're all friends here, so we're doing it anyway, is Lose the Clutter, Lose the Weight by Peter Walsh. And I bought this maybe like a year or so ago. Not necessarily because I was like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, throw out my sweaters and I'm gonna lose 5 pounds. But I was curious about it. I've heard great things about him. I've seen him. He used to be on Oprah, and I think he had, I don't know if he had his own show or just sort of seemed to guest star on lots of shows. But I like Peter Walsh. I like his concept. He's also kind of no-nonsense-y. All 3 of these people, again, are non-judgmental, which I love. I don't need anybody judging my stuff. But I liked his approach to things, so I wanted to read this. And I thought sort of the weight concept was a little bit, you know, interesting. So if I get another little bonus out of this, why not? I wound up kind of half reading this, half doing the audiobook of this at the beginning of February. And there's a lot about this book that I liked. What's interesting is this has like a complete scientific turn to it, which I wasn't expecting. But I also didn't hate. But if you're not looking for sort of like the science behind why you have clutter and why you buy and why you hold on to things and why you can't get rid of things, then like I would say either this might not be the book for you, or you might want to skip those first few chapters. But there's a lot tied into mindfulness and being thoughtful about what you're buying and digging deeper into your habits and sort of what drives you to acquire things. And then it makes the connection of sort of your attitudes towards stuff, you know, needing to acquire things, holding on to things, having an inability to get rid of clutter, what your mental state is about getting rid of clutter. It talks about anxiety and depression and ADHD, so it sort of goes into other things, and you know, with a big overarching, like, we're not doctors, but like, let's take some quizzes. There's like quizzes and things in here to help sort of see where you fall on the scale. But it talks about how sort of those things influence, you know, how you buy stuff and why you have stuff, and also influences your attitudes and your actions towards food and exercise, and how it's all tied together. So it was actually very interesting, and I wasn't expecting to sort of have like aha interesting moments about that. I won't say that it revealed anything I kind of didn't already know about myself, but maybe put it more front and center than it had been lately. And then this book also has recipes in it, and it has pictures about how to do certain exercises. So part of what is a six week plan is that each week you're doing a certain amount of exercise, and it has different meal plans. And I didn't follow those. I also didn't, I mean, I finished this a week and a half ago, so obviously I didn't do the 6-week program. But my takeaway from this was, again, sort of his approach to each room, his approach to decluttering, and sort of some of more of the mental blocks that I have in my head about things and getting rid of things. And those were really my takeaways with this book. Something that all of these books talk about also, and I think more so in the Peter Walsh book, is about how clutter can affect your stress levels and affect you emotionally, and how it can be really demotivating. You know, you come in and you sort of see the piles or see whatever it is, and you don't want to be doing anything else, and it causes you anxiety, and you know you should be cleaning it up or whatever it is, and how all of these things tie together. So again, there's a lot about mindfulness in his book, and again, it's not revolutionary stuff, and none of these books have anything revolutionary in them. It's just sort of how it's pitched, and again, how it spoke to me and how it connected with me. You realize that it's not about the thing, it's about the memory tied to it, and you can always hold on to the memory. And I did start taking a lot of photos of things to remember them, because I was holding on to stuff because the physical stuff reminded me of something, but not having that physical item isn't going to change my memory of it. But in some cases I did take a picture of things because I did want to remember what something looked like. And I think that concept of, you know, why we're holding on to stuff, and is it about the thing, or is it about what's tied to the thing? And sort of similarly, if you're holding on to things that maybe don't bring up great memories, whether it's you know, relics of past relationships, or, you know, that pair of jeans that fit when you were 20 pounds lighter, or like something super expensive, like maybe a designer purchase that the shoes hurt or you don't like it anymore. Like, these are not things to hold on to, because these are things that every time you look at them, it's going to make you feel bad. And you need to not have things in your home and in your life that make you feel less than the fabulous person that you are. And I am guilty of hanging on to clothes that are too small for me. I am guilty of hanging on to things that, again, I spent money on that I can't bear to part with. But it's doing you no value, hanging there, sitting there, wherever they are, reminding you of a bad choice or a bad moment in time. And you got to get it out. Like, you got to get this stuff out of your life so that you are clear, your head is clear, your life is clear, to welcome new things, to welcome positive things into your life. And these things are holding you back from doing that. There's honestly so much to talk about when it comes to decluttering. And I could talk, 20 minutes about each one of these books, but kind of what I wanted the takeaway to be here is, for one, I'm doing it, so I want to stay motivated, and I feel like talking about it will help keep me on point with things. And also, I was someone who was looking for direction and looking for inspiration and motivation, and I found snippets of it through those 3 books, through the Marie Kondo show on Netflix. I mean, it really just sort of shifted my perspective in a way and got me excited about cleaning. And then I wanted to share these books. I would love to know, are other books that you guys have read, or strategies, or if anyone else is going down kind of the whole hog decluttering rabbit hole, like not just I'm going to clean out my closet at the end of winter type of a thing, because it is such an undertaking, and it is one of those things that like you literally just have to do it and live through it. And I think, you know, going through it has definitely started to like shift my mindset, like I said, and in good ways. So long video, long as usual. Hopefully you'll be back soon. I will be back with more book things and probably some decluttering updates somewhere down the road. But I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for spending part of it with me, and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye, everybody.